So this is something cool that I wanted to do. I set this up a little while ago. So basically, I went in with the friggin' console commands and I shaped all of the empires that are listed on the empire title screen, you know, that. So all of the empires are fully, they have all the territory that they're supposed to, with exception to a few places like down here, because some stuff got messed up, but whatever. And I just wanted to see what would happen if everyone is sort of like at their full strength as they're supposed to. Some borders are different because there was some wonkiness with territory gains and stuff. And obviously, as you can see, not everything is entirely historically accurate. Because Wakanda exists. I don't know why I did that. I thought it would be funny. And then is over here. So that's not historically accurate, but it's just a meme, you know? It's a good enough meme that I thought that we'd let him have a chance here. So, yeah, basically I'm gonna set this to spectate, do a time-lapse, and see what happens. Adios. Okay, so I'm back. It's been like 200 years or so. I walked away for some of this so I didn't really see everything that happened, but I watched most of it while it was happening. So let's just start here. Britannia, for a while, they kind of just didn't do much. They sort of just stayed to themselves until, at one point, they slurped up a bunch of Scandinavia. Like, they got Iceland and some of this area here, which that eventually turned into Norway. And they lost all of their overseas land, and eventually they even lost some of their homeland to Sweden and Carpathia. They still got some there. So let's investigate Britannia. Empress Cecilia of Britannia, the godless empath. Empire Britannia, Britannia. House of Leicestershire. They're in a war right now against Emir of the Sholid Emirate in the Holy War for the Kingdom of England. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Whoa, baby. Look at that baby. The heck is wrong with that baby? Why he looks so old? Because he's a leper. Okay, anyway. So yeah, that's Britannia. They didn't really do a whole bunch. They did some things in Scandinavia, but that eventually got undone, so that sucks for them. Let's look at what they're... That's all the same. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's all the same. It doesn't matter. Waldensian. Waldensian seems pretty big. I don't know what Waldensian is. Huh. Well, alright. The culture's about what you would expect. Yeah. Cool. So that was Britannia. Again, didn't do much. We'll get to France in a second. They got gorfed a bit, you know. But here's Norway. They popped up onto the scene. They grew out of the territories of Britannia that Britannia took in Scandinavia. So that was an interesting development. One of the places where sort of kingdoms rose out of the empires and stayed independent. So they're ruled by Queen Gurli, a Dressdotter of House Sombio. Yeah, the Kingdom of Norway. She's a compassionate adventurer. So they're sort of like chilling, doing their own thing. They've survived for a pretty long time, so I think they're pretty well off. Germany's up here for some reason. I noticed that Germany formed up here in Scandinavia before it ever did anything down here where Germany's supposed to be. So that was interesting. Scandinavia's pretty fractured. They turned into Sweden, which is all split up. And Russia has a bunch of land in Scandinavia, Germany. So that got all messy. Look at that. Look at Sweden. What a country. Queen Helena Vaishara's of the Kiev House of Kiev. Waldensian. I don't know what that is. Culture. It's mostly Swedish and Norwegian up in here. Sami up there. Kind of what you'd expect. Scandinavia, as the empire is still standing. Empress Alfhild Bulvarsdottir. I don't know how to pronounce these things. I think it's like an F, maybe? F sound? Boof? I don't know. I don't know that. The flat neffer. She 89. That's pretty good for the time, dude. 89? Heck yeah. And their territories are fractured and scattered all over the place too. Like, that's Sweden. Scandinavia. They're fractured and split up now. It looks like they kind of got wrecked a little bit. Not as bad as some places, because there are some empires that just don't exist anymore. Let's look at Germany. Germany has a few territories around Scandinavia, and then they got down here in the main Europe, which they didn't have for a while, I noticed. A foreign ruler. Queen Matilda of Germany. Of House Opolski. What religion are they down in Germany? There's Waldensian still. Okay. The Baltic Empire, they grew quite a bit, because they were the ones that were just like right here, I think. And they got quite a bit of land. They grew. High Queen Nadezhda anyway, of Kujawski. House Kujawski. Yeah, they were able to get quite a bit of land, taken from Westphalia and all such. And that's a good point. High Queen, is that an empress title? She's not an empress, she's a High Queen. But I guess it would change. It's an Empire tier realm, so I guess it would change depending on the culture or whatever. Which their culture is varied. Oh, so is the religion. It's different. Russia's not looking too good. I don't know what's going on here. It's all like poxed, and like half of the territory is under siege. Their king is in jail. Christina's selfish. But she's forgiving. She's a forgiving grasper. Whatever that means. Ooh, of House Aarhus. That's Danish. Or is it Norwegian? I think it's Norwegian. But it might not necessarily be that in this timeline. There's this country here that has some land. Turov. High Chiefess. So it's a duchy. It's not even a kingdom. They're just independent. Good on them. High Chiefess Yevdokia Andreevna of Turov. Cool. Westphalia has some land out here. They kind of got eaten up a little bit, but they also did make gains. I'm pretty sure they were a lot smaller than they are right now. Tsaritsa Praxida III Yaropolkovna of Westphalia. Of the House Kiev. That was Sweden, right? Yeah, they're of the same house. Look at that. That's something that I should look at, is houses. Kiev. That's cool. So House Kiev has a lot of land. Huh. I'll look at more of that later. Carpathia. There was a lot of interesting stuff going on in this area here. Because, like, Khazaria was here, and then Tartaria slurped up Khazaria, and then Khazaria came back. But then Serbia ate up some of Tartaria, like a lot of Tartaria. But then Tartaria got Khazaria back. But then Khazaria came back, and then Tartaria, they sort of had like a renaissance a little bit. They didn't have all of their territory back, and it's definitely not contiguous. Contiguous? Serbia boomed, dude. Like, Mongolia broke apart, and Serbia boomed. Because Serbia originally broke apart out of Mongolia, I'm pretty sure. They might have been there before. I don't remember. I think they were there before, as one of the original. Kaghan Shorpen of Siberia? Something like that? I don't know. I don't speak Siberian. Kaghan Kisa of Tartaria. Obviously, Khazaria is just gone. It came back a few times, and it had its days. But now it's just gone. Again. And it got slurped up by Carpathia this time, not Tartaria. Empress Blahomira of Carpathia. And then Turan, they kind of got some land, I guess, from Tartaria, and maybe whatever this place was, because this changed names quite a bit. But other than that, they sort of just stick to their area. Didn't really do much. They took some land. Now this is interesting. Not only did survive, but there were 2 different countries named at one point. 2 of them. There were 2 of them. They kind of got bisected by Kham with this little island here. How weird would that be, like, logistically and politically, to have just this little enclave? Khatun Ilknur of running the show. What is this place? It's part of but it's like under siege. Oh, what is this? Oh! It's the same color as I didn't even realize that it was different. The Utpala Hetauda Kingdom. Oh. A dishonorable follower. That's interesting. I didn't even see that at first because it was the same color. Oh, and there's little countries down here. One little country, actually. Or 2 little countries of the same name? No, it's the same country. Okay, I see. Is it? It is. It's the same. Okay. Oh, and it's this country. It's not a little country. Oh. Okay. They just have some land up here. I see. Okay, it's an empire that has some land up there. A content gentlewoman, Samrajni Pasadhanadevi. I'm not sorry. I'm not going to apologize for not knowing how to pronounce foreign languages. Mongolia, as I said before, they like broke into a bunch of different countries. I'm not going to go over all of them, but just Mongolia's still around. They're just tiny now. They're still an empire, but they're just tiny now. Poor Mongolia, dude. They exploded. Dang. What displays? It's a kingdom. Because that's like the biggest land that popped out of Mongolia. Skanam Jibek Itlar Kiji. These places changed names a few times, I've noticed. Lakshmanavati. Oh, she doesn't have a husband. A treacherous villain. Samrajni Himadrija II of the Lakshmavati Empire. Tribandapurid. Yeah, the Tribandapurid. And then Udayagiri. Udayagiri. That's interesting. I'm not going to look at them for too long because, while I'm not upset, YouTube might be a little upset with the bare boobage there. Faridid, they changed names quite a bit, and they took a lot of land too. I don't remember exactly what the original name was, but I remember that at one point it was the Persian Empire. I think there were few empires in their land area that they've taken. I'll have to look back at the footage. But that's interesting because I think there were quite a few empires in this land that they've slurped up. Bonebshan Parvin Esondokt of the Faridid Empire. What a name. What a name. I don't know what language that would be. Arabic, maybe? This is where Arabic would be spoken. But I don't know. Well, what is their culture? Does that give any hints? Not at all. Kurdish? That's a language that I know that exists, but, you know. Who knows? I mean, somebody probably does. I don't. Byzantine Empire. They surprisingly didn't really do much. I noticed. They took some land, but they really ultimately didn't do much. They kind of just sat. And nothing really happened to them either. They just kind of chilled. This little country formed out of them. A county that became independent. Countess Kira of Zichia, or Zikia. We had some interesting things happen down here. Unfortunately, Wakanda is not around anymore. They had a few moments where they came back and went away, and came back and went away, and came back and went away in various forms. But unfortunately, they're not here right now anymore. They didn't come back for a while. So I think it's safe to say Wakanda is not forever. Unfortunately. Najran. I don't remember if this is one of the original empires or not. But they're here. I guess if it's an empire, they were probably here before. And it might be a different name. Like the papacy is kind of, different now. Malika al-Muazzama Thana bint Nazanin of the Najran Empire. Abyssinia got kind of slurped. A lot of it got slurped up by Ajuran, which was originally just this coast here. They're not even an empire, right? No, they're a kingdom. I remember I couldn't make them into an empire for some reason. Even though it was listed on the map that this was an empire here, I formed all of the land, but I was never able to make it into an empire for some reason, so I don't know. I guess it's a high kingdom. It is an empire. Okay, yeah, never mind. Abyssinia, they got a lot of their land sucked up, and they sucked up a lot of other people's lands too. Let's not forget that. Kanem-Bornu sort of showed up out of nowhere for a while, and they kind of persisted for a bit. I don't know where it is. They're definitely not contiguous. Contiguous. And then Guinea, of course. Wakanda very quickly turned into Guinea. And then they spread. But then Wakanda came back. I don't know what that was all about. But then they kept getting traded between Guinea and this place up here, which keep changing names. And they kept coming back, but then getting sucked up or something around this area here. Unfortunate that Wakanda did not last forever. Alafin Adedoja of Guinea, a covetous paragon. And then Khalid. This place changed names quite a bit. I don't remember any of them because hard to remember names that you can't read very well. Malika al-Muluk Hawa II bint Hawa of the Hawid Empire. Hispania, as you saw, very early on, they took France. They formed Hispania and sucked up France up here. And they stayed that way for a bit, but then it looks like eventually they lost their land to France, and France came back, Francia, and Francia came back, because France wasn't around back then. And they were relegated back to the Iberian Peninsula. But then it looks like they kind of split apart into different countries, and those countries started doing better than the overall empire and started taking more land, and then Hawid came and took some land. And now we have Andalusia. Is it duchy? No, Andalusia is the kingdom. I was clicking on the duchy. Malika Kari bint Thashim of Andalusia. But then Hispania sort of, went down into Africa a little bit and got some of the Hawid. But Sus came around. What is Sus? Shaika Brunishenda of Shush. Alright, an independent county. Always like to see that. Andalusia took some... So, yeah. Hispania sort of got... They took a bunch of land, lost a lot of land, took some more land from somewhere else. They're doing whatever. They're Muslim too. Malika al-Muazzama Clemencia III of Hispania. Sardinia was... They were independent from the start. I wasn't able to include them into Italy because once you friggin' suck up the papacy, apparently the entire of Italy turns into the papacy and then you can't play as anymore, so I wasn't able to suck up any more land. So Sardinia had to stay independent for this whole thing. And it looks like they mostly did. The papacy took some islands, what is this island called? Corsica. The papacy took Corsica and parts of Sardinia, and then they had land down here and up there, and papacy. But it looks like they lost Rome, and Romagna was formed as a kingdom, which is interesting. So, are they even Catholic? They're still Catholic, but it's not the papacy anymore. So the papacy lost, the whole point of being the papacy, Rome. Italy's still around. King Burgundo in Italy, only 15. Carling Volterra. Okay. I didn't really see anything of note that Italy did. To my remembrance, they kind of just chilled, did their thing, and now we get to France. What the heck happened to France? Okay, let's figure this out. So Francia was the original empire. They're still around, but boy oh boy, is it messy. Hispania's even got a little stake here. Malika al-Muazzama al-Doncia Goldragodes. Are they related? They have like the same exact name except for the last bit. They just have the same first names. But they're not related, it doesn't look like. She's Portuguese. They're not in the same house. Don't really mean anything. Let's look. Siblings? No, they're not related. Okay. No, they're not related. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, no, never mind. So Francia, they lost a lot of land and kind of got fractured a bit. Quite a bit, no. But look, there's also France is here. Like actual real-life France. Patriarch Alfred Gersendeng of France. Albrecht. So they've got some... They're all messed up. They just took whatever they had, dude. They're just all over the place. It's messy. But most of it was taken by Lotharingia, which, if I am not mistaken, disappeared for a while. But they came back in force and took most of Francia. Queen Beatrice of Lotharingia, a covetous atheist. It's pretty. What is this? Rame. It's all overlapping. I can't. Rhymes. Chief des Maisons. Well, that's kind of like the American flag a little bit. What is this? Vermandois. Ooh, they're also... Are they all also... Yeah, they're like all Muslim up here. Except for Rhymes. Shaika Ricarda of Vermandois. Ooh, that's the same... Cantabria is the same house of this lady. Interesting. Oh, and it looks like this house has Cantabria as part of it. At least their flag is there. So maybe she was related? I don't know. Anyway. So let's just go around and see if there's any other Sunpadha. A duchy. They're independent. That's nice. High Chiefess Miriam the Impaler. See what if anything else interesting is going on. Oh yeah, there was this down here that I never looked at. An empire. Oh wait. Oh, it's them. Okay, they own that. Okay. Alright. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Korsun. Korsun, dude. Look at Korsun. Chiefess Alexandra of Korsun. House Kiev. Nice. Russia, yeah. No independence up here, it looks like. Except for Norway. But they're pretty big. Scandinavia still controls... Well, they control Iceland again, because Britannia controlled Iceland for a bit, which then converted to Norway when they lost all of their Scandinavian land, and I guess Scandinavia took Iceland back. What is this? Oh, they're independent? Yeah, they're independent. The Sholid Emirate. Oh, they're who's at war with Britannia right now for the Kingdom of England. Okay. Good luck with that, I guess. Doesn't seem like it's gonna work out for you guys. In fact, how is the... No, they're winning by 28% right now. So, I don't really care enough to see how that plays out, though. So I think I looked at pretty much everything. That was cooler than I thought it was going to be. A lot more happened. Well, I guess when you stick a bunch of really powerful people in a room together, eventually they're going to fight, you know? That was cool. I think because everyone was so, like, big and powerful, and there was a lot less people to worry about, they were more inclined to start more wars and take more territory, which I think is interesting. Poor Mongolia, man. I just looked back up there and they're just gone. But anyway, that was pretty cool. I liked that. That was interesting. I mean, it was definitely worth the setup, because a few days ago I set this up and it took like 2 hours. Because I had to like click on each territory individually and like and switch between kingdoms and stuff. It was crazy. Anyway, thanks for watching. That was pretty cool. And I'm probably going to do more of these in the future. I don't know the full the lengths and extents that this game can go to. So if you see this and you have any other suggestions of anything that I should do that would be interesting, cool little scenarios or anything, I'd love to know. But until I do it again, or until another video that I do, another series or something, because I plan to do another series soon on something, I think that was pretty successful, and yeah. Bye!